Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Connor, thanks so much for coming to my office for the visit. Please give your entire family my very best. Dr. Robinson, congratulations. Mr. Binz, congratulations to you as well. I do have some questions, Mr. Binz. Obviously, it's disturbing to many of us that telling Senator Murkowski something in private and then having emails come out that conflicts that afterwards is very concerning to many of us. I do have questions specifically about natural gas. The U.S. Has roughly 100 years worth of natural gas. Natural gas is going to be critical to ensuring American families and businesses have an affordable, reliable, secure supply of energy. You've made comments about your previous statement that you may have said were, I think, inartful. In March, you stated in reference to natural gas that without carbon capture and storage, to clarify your remarks, I think it's a dead end that will dead end in 2035 when we're going to have to be better on carbon than even natural gas, you said, will allow us to do. And I find the comments troubling and far outside the mainstream because, to be clear, you're saying that the future of natural gas, not just coal, but natural gas depends on carbon capture and sequestration. A technology not currently available, not currently economically viable, not commercially viable, may never be for natural gas. So we're saying that under those circumstances, if they can't make this technology economically, commercially viable, that we would then leave 80 years worth of affordable natural gas in the ground. I think the views are troubling because you've been nominated to lead FERC, the agency responsible for permitting the interstate natural gas pipelines, the natural gas storage facilities, the LNG export terminals, facilities intended to be in place well beyond 2035, and you're going to have to make those decisions today. So if confirmed, you'll be in an ideal position to act on the beliefs about the, quote, dead end for natural gas in 2035 by blocking permits that would be there way beyond 2035 for the pipelines, the storage facilities, the export terminals. So given your belief that we should stop using natural gas by 2035, that it must dead end in 21 years if there is not this carbon capture and sequestration technology available at that time, is it fair to say that your views fundamentally conflict with FERC's mission to support the use of natural gas?
Senator, I cannot agree with that, your conclusion. I've already clarified today that I think this is a terrific fuel. It's needed right now and may be in the permanent energy mix. Now, Senator, behind all of this, as both of us know, is the assumption that we will decarbonize or significantly reduce carbon in the electric generation sector. That won't be up to me at the FERC. It won't be up to the FERC. It will probably be up to Congress and the EPA or some combination thereof in the courts. But I'm just speaking as someone informed about the energy industry, and aside from being, rather than being outside the mainstream, I think they're very much in the mainstream. This is what the MIT research is saying. This is what the Electric Power Research Institute is saying. They're publishing all of these graphs showing the amount of carbon capture and sequestration is ramping up in order to meet a 2050 energy portfolio. I think they're right. You may not agree with them, or there may be others who don't agree with them, but if they are right, if we will have to reduce carbon, then we're going to have to make plans at some point. We've got 20 years to do it, and I think there's a very good chance that the technology will be invented or perfected by that time.
But the decisions that you're going to make now, in terms of natural gas pipelines, natural gas storage facilities, and LNG export terminals, we're not going to know what that technology is going to be 20 years from now. You're going to be conducting the reviews today, and the EPA and the Sierra Club have argued that FERC should dramatically expand its environmental reviews for natural gas pipelines and LNG export terminals. They say FERC should consider the upstream impacts of natural gas pipelines and LNG export terminals, such as hydraulic fracturing. The Sierra Club is arguing that agencies like FERC should consider the downstream impacts of natural gas pipelines and LNG export terminals. The Sierra Club's efforts are part of what's called, quote, beyond natural gas, their campaign to fight the production and use of natural gas. So if confirmed, will you expand FERC's environmental review process for natural gas pipelines and LNG export terminals specifically? Will you direct FERC to consider upstream impacts and downstream impacts such as greenhouse gas emissions?
Senator, if I'm conferring the FERC, that is not something which I would put on my agenda, and I want to reply to something else you said just prior to that, the notion that I will somehow allow my guess as to what the future is going to look like, again, not a FERC position, to affect the approval of natural gas pipelines, LNG facilities. That is wrong. These facilities are needed today. These are facilities that are going to be built today. The LNG export facilities, the gentlemen in Louisiana have contracts with Puerto Rico and Africa and lots of other places to deliver gas. I absolutely support that. And it will be up to this industry in total to decide what we do on a carbon basis going forward. This is not a FERC decision. So if I'm confirmed to the FERC, my jurisdiction or my authority will be to evaluate proposals brought to us on the basis of the merits of those proposals. It will not be to substitute my judgment for anyone else's judgment about whether these pipelines will be used 25 years from now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.